been here to Instinct Hardware a few times before, but since then we've grown, we've got more people watching our videos who don't know you and don't know your story, and I think they really should. So can you give us a little background into you, Instinct Hardware, but also everything else that falls under that umbrella?
Yeah, sure. So Instinct Hardware essentially is a designer and manufacturer of bespoke architectural hardware. So whilst we have a core range of products, over the years our business has transformed more to the bespoke side of design and manufacture. So I'd like to think that we are now the go-to business for any bespoke requirements for architectural hardware on high-end fit-outs. So alongside Instinct Hardware, over the last few years, we've also set up a subcontract arm to the business called Creative Manufacturing. So in Creative Manufacturing, we're able to offer our extra capacity and capabilities on a subcontract side. So we operate a full end-to-end manufacturing service, right from the designs through to raw material, right through to a finished final boxed product and out the door. And we offer a full plethora of services to enable us to do that.
And talking about them services, you work with some really high-end clientele. Now obviously that must bring some problems as well as some positives. So what were some of the problems you were having before your latest investment?
So one of the key problems I would say we were having is to do with multiple operations on multiple machines. The more operations you have separated out over several machines, there are more areas for error, whether that's user error or just having multiple setups means that every setup can incur inaccuracies. With the newest investment, what we're trying to do is consolidate all of these operations into one. And that means that these inaccuracies are avoided and we get a near perfect component coming out the other end.
And I think that's a big one, that near perfect component, because like we've said, you work for really high-end clientele who will notice any mark, any blemish, so it's got to be right. So we're stood in front of your latest investment, the Biglia, and just before we get into the specs and why you bought this machine's come with something that's quite unique and what was needed by you, and that's the soft handling aspect of the gantry unloader. So how has that really helped you move forward?
Well, it means that when a component comes off the machine, we're confident that there aren't going to be any marks or dings on that component which potentially could be rejected later on. Now, we have a series of processes that happens after components come off a machine, and all of those processes have costs associated with them. And if the imperfections aren't picked up during that process and they're picked up later on, and that part is then eventually scrapped, obviously that's a cost to the business. So with this machine, we can be confident that with the soft handling aspects, components come off here and they come off ready to be polished without any further issues. It makes the polishing processes much smoother. It means that the polishers have confidence that the components coming off are at the quality, which means that they don't have to go through the usual processes to get to the quality that we're looking for.
My name's Pete Smith. I'm the Sales and Marketing Director for Whitehouse Machine Tools. We're a little distributor based in Kenilworth, just outside of Coventry. Distributor for numerous brands, but probably best known for Brother, Spinner, and as we see here today, Biglia. This is a collaboration amongst partners to deliver what the customer's looking for. So yeah, for sure, the machine's the major part of the investment, but without partners like Heimbach on the work holding front and Hydrofeed on the bar feed front, tooling from OSG and Tungaloy respectively, driven tool heads from MTS, it wouldn't be possible to pull it together as a solution for the customer. So it's been critical that we've all worked together closely to deliver what Neil and Instinct Hardware were looking for, And from a future-proofing point of view, it's that consolidation of operations. What he's been able to do is automate a process that was multiple setups and lots of manning as well. So now he gets greater productivity because we've got unmanned running and a controlled process.
So Neil, we've just heard from Peter on how this machine's actually helped you future-proof your business, not just help your processes now. So how and why?
Well, I mean, the fact that we can do multiple processes on this machine means that we are now producing components with a much higher efficiency than we were before. It also frees up other machines to be able to take the load off the more manual side of the machining shop. We can now move those processes onto CNC machines that we already had here, while this new machine can take the components which had multiple operations and do them all in one on here. It also gives us the opportunity to, as I said, subcontract any extra capacity that we might have, which this has led to creating. It's been pivotal to be honest. The broaching operation that we were doing before, it was done on a separate machine. With it being done on a separate machine meant that we needed jigs and fixtures for every single component type that required this broaching operation. Now that this broaching operation can be done on here in succession and after the features and machine that we need to align that broach with, it means that we can leave that previous method behind. It also means that all of those jigs and fixtures that we needed can also be left behind. We now have a machine that is capable of doing that operation, and all the components which have that operation, which is a large part of the components that we manufacture, are all done with us knowing that it's done with 100% accuracy. But in addition to that, you've got a 15-station turret, which means any components which need multiple features machined, we can do it all on here. And then the other additional feature that we don't have on any of the other machines here at Instinct is the Y-axis. So that gives us the ability to be able to design and manufacture components that we couldn't do before. And it enables us to do them all on one machine. And again, it's just getting components out of the machine with everything done all in one.